Long story short, if you get stopped by the cops out here, you actually have all the power. And it doesn't matter whether you're a tourist, on a Mexican citizen, or whatever you are. The reality is that they have to follow the same laws as you do. So they can't just stop you. They can't just arrest you. They can't just do any of these things, because if they illegally stop you, that's again illegal. If they arrest you, that's kidnapping, and I could go on and on, you know what I mean? So, you know, extortion, you name it. All these things, you know, the cops out here actually get in trouble for acting a fool. I think it all boils down to the fact that it's like your rights. If you know your rights out here, you're good to go. If you don't know your rights, then they're gonna really mess with you. Again, not everywhere. Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we got a pretty interesting topic that we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be focusing on freedom, liberty, talking about the police, you know, out here, police, you know, out here in Mexico specifically. That's where I am. The police in other parts of the world and things like that, because you know, recently I had a friend of mine that's in the Cancun area that had a run-in with the cops. And, you know, there are people that have run-in with the cops out here. And, you know, it's not really talked about much. So I figured, you know what, today would be a great time to cover this topic. Now, I'm still undecided as to whether I'm going to put this on both channels or not. But definitely this is going on my regular channel. And most likely might be going on my Mexico travel channel. But regardless, I think this is something that, you know, should be covered on both, because it's a very important topic, you know, when it comes to you know, just safety, you know what I mean? Something that, you know, a lot of us are, you know, kind of concerned with, no matter what part of the world we're in. So you know, we're gonna be talking about a lot of things, you know. As a matter of fact, again, that's why we're out here in my backyard, you know, as you guys can see all my dirty laundry. As you guys know, I'm not a stranger to that, and we're definitely going to be airing out some dirty laundry and you know, of all types. So without further ado, let's take a walk. All right, I gotta go to the store, so I'm gonna take you guys with me, and we're gonna go from there. I hope you guys are liking this new format that I'm doing on my regular channel, and again, I hope that you guys are enjoying it no matter where you're watching this. So all right, without further ado, let's get out of here. All right, so we're out here. We're on our way to the store. You already know the walking and the talking that we always do, but let's get to, you know, a few things before I get into my conversation. So I know in the intro I said I wasn't sure if I'm gonna put this on both channels or not. I think I am, because there's a lot of relevant information. So as you guys are watching this, I'm not sure when you're gonna watch it, but I know for a fact that as you're watching it, I am gonna be already either in Oaxaca or probably right back, you know what I mean? Meaning that we had just come back from Oaxaca. So, you know, definitely just want to keep that in mind, and so you guys can expect, you know, more videos coming from our trip out there soon. So on the travel channel, you know, again, check out another part of Mexico. Now, I know that so this video, which is going to be on my channel, is you know, as you guys already know, this is number 3, and you know, I'm gonna stop counting after a little while, but I'm just counting for now, because again, I hope you guys like the first one, and I hope you guys like the second one, because again, I'm making a third, and I'm going to continue making these in this format, which is, you know, again, it's a little bit of an edited version of what I'm doing throughout the day. So what was I doing today? Well, one of the things that I was doing today was laundry, as you guys already saw from, you know, the earlier scene. Another thing I was doing is I was watching videos on Oaxaca. Yeah, that's right. Well, because just like you guys watch my videos, you know, on living out here, or watch my videos, you know, on all kinds of content, well, I watch videos too, guys. Come on, you know what I mean? So, you know, I really wanted to see what was going on out there, you know what I mean? Because as you guys already know, the whole mask wearing situation, you know what I mean, and the virus and all these other things, you know, those are, you know, big concerns for a lot of us, me and Christian included. So, you know, one of the main reasons we were going out there to begin with, it was because we kept hearing from friends that are out there, and other individuals that are out there, that the restrictions aren't as bad as they are here locally where I am. But one of the things that I keep finding out, you know what I mean, as I'm doing more and more research the last few days, is that it seems like the restrictions, you know, could be very similar to what we're having here. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. And, you know, we're hoping that that's not the case. I'm actually, again, reaching out to you know, some more individuals out there to see. And you know, it's kind of like touch and go. We really have no idea until we get there. But I do know that even though there are restrictions and all kinds of craziness happening over there, it's not as bad as it is here. So you know, we're gonna go with that and hope for the best. So that's, you know, one of the things that I have, you know, as a concern right now. You know what I mean? Again, remember today, you know, what we're doing in these videos is, again, we're going back into the vlogging, you know, telling you about my life, my stories, you know, whatever, all kinds of whatever's in my head at the moment. And this is something that's in my head at the moment because, again, very disappointing. You know what I mean? Like but again, it's all conflicting. All I gotta say is that we're gonna find out together. And you're gonna watch this video first on my regular channel, and then eventually you'll see this video on my Mexico travel channel, and then after that you're gonna start seeing Oaxaca videos, okay? And that's it, you know what I mean? So just to give you a little bit of a background. Now let's get to the topic at hand, which is, you know, police corruption. I mean, that's it. Now, look, I've made, and I'm gonna link this at the end of this video on both channels, but I've made videos talking about the police presence out here, you know, talking about that. I've talked about it in as a matter of fact, I talked about it many times. On this particular channel, I put, you know, videos talking about, can you get extradited, you know, from Mexico, you know, for petty crimes that you committed in whatever country you're from, and things like that. The short answer, no, but I made a whole video on that, you know, talking more in depth. You know, other things like about the police corruption, you know. So for example, you know, look, man, long story short, if you get stopped by the cops out here, you actually have all the power. And it doesn't matter whether you're a tourist, on a Mexican citizen, or whatever you are. The reality is that they have to follow the same laws as you do. So they can't just stop you. They can't just arrest you. They can't just do any of these things, because if they illegally stop you, that's, again, illegal. If they arrest you, that's kidnapping. And I could go on and on, you know what I mean? So, you know, extortion, you name it. All these things, you know, the cops out here actually get in trouble for acting a fool. So I tell a lot of people, again, we're gonna go really in depth here, but you know, I tell a lot of people as to what to do when you're out here and you're confronted by a corrupt police officer. And the thing is that, look, man, I have to say this. Oh, look at this cute little doggy. Look at this guy. Hey, hey. Uh-oh, got a little too close. Hey, I just wanted to say hi. That's it. Uh-oh. Anyways, more dangerous than the cops out here, if you know what you're doing. Okay, no more dangerous. That little car, the little dog right there, same as all the other dogs that I awakened by being a dumbass. More dangerous. And let me explain, okay? Because the reality is that, you know, they can only go as far as you let them go. And meaning that, you know, they can literally take you through the ringer if you don't know your rights and you don't know your laws. And so, you know, I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna, you know, talk about what I was gonna talk about today, because there's a lot of things to talk about. But I think it all boils down to the fact that's like your rights. If you know your rights out here, you're good to go. If you don't know your rights, then they're gonna really mess with you. Again, not everywhere. This story that I'm telling you happened in Cancun. Cancun is notorious for this kind of behavior, okay, from their police and other individuals out there in power. So now during the whole you know, virus situation, obviously it's getting a lot worse. Obviously it's you know, they're using their powers, you know, to the extreme. You know what I mean? They're really exercising their powers, not for good, but for bad. So let me explain the story. Let me explain what happened. So, you know, basically my friend and his brother were walking through Cancun in a touristy area, and they were like just smoking a cigarette, and the cops stopped them and they say, "Hey, what are you guys doing? We know you guys have drugs." And they're like, "No, we don't have any drugs. You know what I mean? What do you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah." And then they were like, basically, "Oh, we got to search you. We got to find the drugs. We know you got them, blah, blah, blah," all these other things. my friend, you know, again, they got caught by surprise and they didn't really know. But at that moment in time, all you had to do is be like, you can't touch me. If you touch me, you're the one's gonna get in trouble. That's battery. That's this, again, knowing your rights. It caught him by surprise. And so long story short, 5 guys with huge machine guns made them, you know, take everything out of their pockets, and they got searched and they got everything, and they found absolutely nothing. When they found nothing, the cops got really, really upset, and then they said, you got to pay a 9,000 peso fine right here, right now, for not having your mask on. And they're like, what do you mean? I do have my mask, okay? I'm smoking a cigarette, so I don't have to have it on. So what are you talking about? And they just started going back and forth, and just saying, look, I'm not going to pay you. This is extortion. What you're doing is highly illegal. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to cross. You know, what you're doing is highly illegal, and I could go on and on, you know what I mean? And so they were going back and forth with the cops for about 20 some odd minutes, until eventually the cops noticed and saw that they were not going to get any money. They were not going to get any kind of money from my friend and his brother, so they let him go. And so, you know, the reason I'm bringing this story up is because I've talked about this many times before. I've had my run-ins with the cops. It's never gotten to that extent, but I know plenty of people that have had their run-ins with the cops, and basically they're just asking for a bribe. Because look, they were asking for 9,000 pesos right then and there to pay the fine. No, man, you know what I mean? What I would have told them, if that would have been me, I would have been like, you know what, arrest me, all right? And me posting bail and calling a taxi to bring me back exactly where you arrested me is going to be cheaper, and I'll be here, you know, done with this a lot quicker. And you know what I mean? Then if I were to pay this extortion fee to you, you know what I mean, which I already know is going to go in your pocket. At the very least, if I'm posting bail, it's going to, you know, it's going to the jail or whatever, you know. And again, once they do that, they remember they have to have a reason for arresting you. And so now they're bringing in an American or Canadian or whatever to jail over what? So at the end of the day, no matter what it is, whether it was a mask or whether it was a false charge or illegal charge, whatever, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they have to prove it, and even with proof, they still can't do much. And that's just a fact. Like I've said many times, you know, you can literally, you know, people out here can literally break into a home, call the arrest, you know, like let's say someone breaks into my home, I grab them, call the cops, and the cops at the end of the day, the most that they can do is maybe arrest them for the night, and then they're out the next day. Most of the time they don't even get arrested. So it's things like that. So because again, they arrest for what? You mean what, for trespassing? You know what I mean? It's just, so, you know, it's just, you know, things like that, you know what I mean? Because they can't prove it. There's no, you know, there's all these things that, you know, again, you know, things that we have already in a sense forgotten, you know, that, you know, these rights and these procedures that we actually have to go through when you're trying to accuse somebody of a crime and things like that. And so sure, in a lot of our countries and first world countries, we have been able to streamline this a little better. But I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You guys know. So, you know, again, you know, I've told you guys many times, like if, let's say you're walking, I mean, not walking, let's say that you're driving your car and you're in the middle of nowhere. This is not going to happen to you in a city or in an area like this, no urban area. But let's say you're in the middle of nowhere and you get stopped by the cops for whatever reason, and they try to pull something very similar to you. You know, basically saying, hey, I'm gonna write you a ticket for XYZ crime, and you need to pay it now, right here. If you don't pay it right now, right here, we're gonna take you to the station, and then you're gonna be really in trouble. Look, man, the reality is that you gotta call their bluff, and you gotta be like, look, bro, I don't have any cash. I guess you gotta take me straight to the jail, to the police officer, you know, to the police station. And once we get to the police station, you can write me a ticket. In fact, you can write me a ticket right now. Here's my address, send me the ticket. They'll let you go. They'll let you go 100% of the time, because they're just trying to get some cash out of you. All right, when you actually tell them, oh no, just give me the ticket, give me the crime, I want you to accuse me of a crime, they don't do it because they know that it's their ass. So it's the same shit. If you call these motherfuckers on their bluff, let them arrest you, please, by all means. Again, if you already know that people committing actual crimes out here barely get in trouble, what kind of trouble are you gonna get into? Not much, especially if you didn't do anything. All right, so And remember, you have the benefit of the doubt when you get there. That's another thing too, because what they do is that they prey on Americans and Canadians, but basically Americans more than anything else, knowing that we have a really bad, shitty situation with corrupt police in our countries, in our areas. So they use the tactic of fear in order to, you know, make sure that you comply.
For what? Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
But if you call them on the bluff, I mean, again, you know what I mean? Like, it was really, I hated to hear my friend's story. I'm not gonna lie. It really was a disappointment. It sucked, especially during this time where everybody's starving. Obviously the cops too. And then, you know, what are they doing? You know, they're doing things like this to hurt tourism, to hurt, you know what I mean? To hurt the whole, you know, the whole economic recovery. And so to me, it was, man, I did not want to hear that. But when my friend, you know, was actually telling me about, you know, his experience, meaning that, you know, how it all went through, that he stood his ground, he talked about, you know, he let him know his rights, he let him know that what they were doing was wrong and extortion and shit like that. And at the end of the day, 5 guys with machine guns had to back the fuck off. So, you know, that's something I want to bring up, because again, a lot of you guys coming from, you know, the US or Canada or whatever, you can't do any of that. You know what I mean? You try to backtalk a cop, try to, you know, just question an authority figure where you're from, and see how that goes, and see how well, you know, that transpires and shit like that. So, you know, definitely something that you need to keep an eye on, and something definitely that, you know, like I said, I'm having a conversation about right now, because I feel that it's very important. Because again, if you're watching this channel, you're trying to get away from the insanity that's happening in your country. And if you're watching the travel channel, this is also very important information that you're gonna need in order to, you know, do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? And very important information that you're gonna need in order for you to be out here safe and sound, and not have to worry about, again, the corruption of a few cops that are out there. Because again, there are actually fewer corrupt cops here than there are in the US and other places, and that's just the reality of it. So, all right, with that being said, I'm going to show you something, because, you know, I just came to the grocery store and I just saw like a huge line to get in there, and I'm going to show you what's up, because I don't think I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm not even going to fucking lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. So see, these individuals here are laughing at that lady that was trying to get in and could not get in. So I've already been to the store many times, and now I am seeing, here, I'll just show you, man, fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm probably just gonna walk home. I am not gonna deal with this shit right now at all. So look at this. Get the fuck out of here with this shit right now. Look at this. Look at this, bro. Are you kidding me right now? Nah, bro. So we're gonna go to another store, and that's fine. And again, this was not a problem here at all. I come here all the time. In fact, this is why I come here, because I don't have to deal with any of this shit. And now look at this, bro. Get the fuck out of here with this, bro. So let's go to the next store. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it here so I can go to the store, and then we'll pick it up there, okay? All right, so we're gonna go to this store now. So this store right there, that's the one that has that line. I always go to that store. Why? Because I remember I used to come here and the line was out of this store, so I didn't come here. In fact, I've never been in this store before, you know, so, you know, because I'm not gonna put up with that. So now I come to my favorite store, and now I see that they're with their huge line. Well, no problem. Time to bring my business on over here. So, all right, let's just check it out. All right, as we get closer, doesn't seem like there's any restrictions to get in, so I'll just I'll show you a little bit once we're in there. So just join me, why don't you? All right, I'm in the store. I'm gonna try and record what I can when I'm in here, but I don't think I can show you guys much, because, you know, security and all kinds of people here. I don't want to get in trouble. I need to pick up a few things. I'm very busy today. Not in the mood to be dealing with, but I'll be showing you a little more. Anyways, as I came in, the thermometer thing didn't work. I always put it on my, you know, have them take the temperature at every other part of my body, and it didn't work. And it's like I had to use my head. And so when they were, you know, when I was like, oh, all right, I guess you got to shoot me in the head. He goes, oh, what's the problem? And he starts laughing. He goes, you know exactly what the problem is. He goes, no, don't worry, your brain is safe, you know, it's not going anywhere. I'm like, okay. So, all right, let me do a little shopping, and I'll try to show you what I can while I'm in here, and then we're gonna continue this conversation on the way back, okay? Thank God there was no line to get in here. we're done there. I'm actually glad I came in here. See, I'm telling you, man, even though I'm like a little upset and disappointed, you know, with what I was saying earlier about the Oaxaca trip and stuff like that, again, I try to not buy into all that, you know what I mean, negative energy, because I know that once I get there, it's probably gonna be beyond crazy amazing, despite, you know what I mean, what's going on. So I'm not too worried about it at all. In fact, just like now, I was kind of upset, you know what I mean, I couldn't shop there because I needed to get certain things that were only at that store. But you know what, I came in here and I've never been in here, and I never would have had a reason to come in here up until, you know what I mean, what just happened. And my God, you know what I mean, I'm glad I went in there. Holy crap, big applause to that place. I've been in many super Akis out here, but man, none as good as that one. I'll tell you what. So I mean, yeah, you saw some scenes in there. You saw you know, a little bit of what was in there. I played a little bit so you guys can take a look. But at the end of the day, I realized you know, this place is like kind of like a mini Costco or Sam's Club, you know, where there's a lot of things in bulk and, you know, cheap and things like that. So great spot. I'm definitely gonna come here. I was just in a hurry. I just picked up what I needed, filmed a little bit, and got out of there. But at the end of the day, I'm definitely gonna be coming back here and checking out what else they got, because they definitely have a lot of things. I got a lot of things on special. I even bought a few things that I didn't need right now, but I will need in the future, that were on special. And you know, literally, you know, getting like a huge bag of chips, you know, that chips was $1.50. I got some hand soap, again, for $1. Normally costs me a little more than that, like a couple bucks, $2-3 bucks, and things like that. So I was like, all right, man, it's getting hot and humid. So anyways, there was a few things I could not get. The pharmacy is right across the street, so I'm actually gonna go there and see if I can find it there. And that's it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about that real quick before, you know, again, another segue before the next segue. Oh, I just realized I think the pharmacy is further out. All right, so we're just gonna keep talking and then we'll go from there. But you know, I don't want to get too deep into the continuing the talk about the police officer stuff yet, yeah, because I'm gonna go off on my rant, and I know I'm not gonna finish in time, all right, before I get there. So but I just wanted to talk about the whole thing. I think I realized also why there was so many people over there. Just like there's a lot of people. Let's Telcel, that's like my cell phone company, and that's a cell phone company I encourage everybody else to get when you're out here, okay? So just FYI. But yeah, they're busy, they're packed, and I realized, because everybody gets paid out here every 15th of the month, you know, so every 2 weeks, give or take. So today is literally halfway between the month, and so I was like, that's why everybody's at the grocery store. That's why things are really busy and stuff like that. And not every place, but certain places, you know what I mean? So that's why that grocery store, which is a regular grocery store for, you know, families and, you know, just a regular size, you know, then they were obviously, you know what I mean, like way more busier, because it seems like, you know, there's more people that need to go in. That was one thing that came to mind. Another thing that came to mind is that, you know, like when you're shopping in between different stores, and sometimes, like, how do I say this? You know, if you shop frequently between a few stores, and you're always like trying to bargain shop, and I'm talking about wherever you are, whether it's the US or here, you'll always notice that, let's just go with Coca-Cola and Pepsi, or Ruffles and the other brand. I forgot the other brand. Check out the music, yeah. So yeah, I gotta play something else in the background there, you know, so that way it'll drown it out a little bit. You know, YouTube's waiting for me to, just waiting to fucking zing me. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I think that what happens is that you know how specials rotate? Like 1 week Coca-Cola is on special, the next week it's Pepsi, the next week it's Coca-Cola, the next week it's Pepsi, and like that. And basically you just, you know, you kind of figure out, you gotta figure out when to go to the store to buy what you buy on special. But let's just say that you go to the store and it's not on special, then if you go to another store, another competitor, you'll find it there on special. You follow me? So it's the same thing. So with that being said, with that logic, I think that that's what's going on here, where, you know, for the longest time, the original store, no protocols or very little protocols, no problem, no nothing. By the way, here's the pharmacy. I'm gonna go in there in a second. Let me just finish my thought. But here, I'll show you a little bit of look at that guy. Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, at the end of the day, you know, one of the things out here, you know, that I think that's going on with that is that the first store, Chedraui, wasn't really, you know, getting in trouble for following too many of the protocols, and the other store was, you know, following the protocols to, you know, to the extent. So maybe they're flipping it around now, where now they're letting the other store, you know what I mean, not really do the protocols, and now they're going after that, you know, the first store that I showed you for the protocols. You follow me? So just like they flip it around with the specials, you know, whether it's Coca-Cola or chips or whatever it is, I think that's the same thing too, where they rotate that, you know what I mean, so that, again, so all businesses get a fair share and a fair, you get what I'm saying, a fair shot at this whole thing, you know, meaning that, again, like right now, if it wasn't for what they just did right there, I would not have gone into the other store. Now I went to the other store. I really didn't get harassed or bothered there at all. I was even filming. They were actually looking at me. There was 1 million employees in there. A lot of them were looking at me, and nobody even, you know, batted an eye. So again, it's like they're dying for customers. So you feel me? And I was like one of the only people in the whole store, and that store was humongous. So anyways, I digress. Let me get in here real quick. You know, this is Dr. Simi, okay? In case you guys don't know who he is, he's like a mascot to Mexico, all right? Literally, all right? If you guys don't know who he is, you know, he's all over Mexico, all right? And I gotta make an episode just on this guy alone, all right? Just FYI. But yeah, long story short, you know what? I gotta wait in line, so I might as well tell you the story. So out here, like basically, look, there's another picture of him, you see? I'm gonna zoom in real quick, you see it? But yeah, long story short, what happens is that like, there's a lot of pharmacies out here, a lot of competition, but this particular pharmacy, as you guys can see there, you know, this particular pharmacy offers very, very low rates. You get what I'm saying? And the medicine isn't as powerful or as strong. I'm not getting medicine, I'm getting something else here, as in other places, because again, they cut back on, let's say, like, you know, your medicine, instead of being 100% effective, it's 75% effective, but it's also 75% cheaper. So so now all the really, really, really poor people can come and get their medicine, get fixed, you know, feel better, and they can afford to do it. You know what I mean? And again, 75% of a medicine is better than 0%. You know what I mean? Where back in the US, you get 0%, you know what I mean, or -%. So, you know, just FYI, that's very important to have things like this out here, you know what I mean? And so I would not recommend to come and buy your drugs here because of that, you know what I mean? And I'm just talking about, like, I think the generic, you know what I mean? Non-generic is different. But the thing is that there's like many pharmacies out here, a lot of competition. They got pharmacies like La Farmacia de Guadalajara, and that looks like CVS or Walgreens. And then they got most of the pharmacies that are like this, you know what I mean? Where you just like kind of walk up and tell them what you need and they're good to go. So, all right, I think they're done. So I'm gonna go see what and ask so I'm gonna go ask them and see if they have what I need, and then we're gonna continue home and finish the conversation. All right, they did not have what I wanted. Yeah, basically what I was looking, basically what I'm looking for are the breath strips, you know, those little things that you put here in your nose so you can breathe at night, you know what I mean? They're hard to come by out here in Mexico. You can find them, but they're hard to come by. And anytime I'm next to a pharmacy or in any kind of place like that, I always ask, because they have them in some pharmacies, but they have them in most Walmarts. But again, they're hit or miss, and they're hard to come by, and they only come in packs of 10. I'm used to buying a pack of 30. Anyways, I'm sorry, bro. Personal problems, TMI, right? But anyways, that's why you guys are watching. But for those of you guys that are watching this on the travel channel, if you like this kind of content and you're enjoying literally what I'm doing right now, check out my regular channel, because I'm making a lot of videos like this that you're only gonna find on my regular channel. Every once in a while, I'll make a video like this where I can put them on both, but as you guys can see, it's a little bit of a different editing style and things are just a little bit different, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I think you guys are. You know, I'm enjoying it. So again, you already know I do these things for me. It just so happens that you guys also get value and enjoy them as well. So, all right, let's get back to what we were talking about with the whole police and authority out here. So the reality is like this. Long story short, you know what I mean? Let me just break it down. If you know your rights, then you are good to go. If you don't know your rights, then they're gonna really, you know what I mean, take advantage of you. And I know I already said this earlier, but that's basically what it boils down to. And so that's why I encourage you guys to know your rights. Now, if you're coming from the USA, knowing your rights out here is actually pretty easy, because again, I've said this many times before, the Mexican Constitution is literally a copy paste, okay, version of the American Constitution, okay? Everything. I mean, again, we already talked about this before and saying, you know, like you know, a lot of people have the misconception that guns are illegal here, but no, they have a Second Amendment. It's not the second, it's like number 17 or whatever, but they have a, you know, again, it's part of their Constitution, you know, where, you know, you can definitely, you know, not only own guns, but, you know, it's part of, you know, being a Mexican, you know, just like being an American. And not just guns, but basically every right, whether it's from freedom of speech, gun rights, you know, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, you know what I mean? I could go on and on and on, you know what I mean? Basically, the right to privacy, the right to your, you know, all of these things. So again, I'm walking down the street, and in the US, any cop can stop me and strip search me and do anything that they want to me, literally rape me, all right, leave me there for dead, and they're not implicit in any crime. Now, if that were to happen here, oh dude, are you kidding me, man? That cop is going to jail for, you know what I mean, for so many crimes that he committed to me, because a cop out here is just like a regular citizen. So just because they have a little bit of power and other stuff, in fact, how it works is the fact that they have actually so much more power and authority over you, that they actually, if they get committed of a crime, it's actually worse for them. So in the US, you know, guys, you know, commit murder all the time. You know, police officers commit murder all the time, and they get let off because it's part of the law where they get let off. You know, the law says that they're allowed to murder and nothing happens to them. But now here, it's not like that at all. So, you know what I mean? Like, if they do something like that, well, they're going to jail for murder, or they're going to jail for rape, or they're going to jail for what? And it's not like a small sentence. No, they're getting the book thrown at them because they got to make an example of them, because they don't want other cops to do the same thing. And I could go on and on. So, you know, the reality is that my friend had a really shitty experience. You could have a really shitty experience. In fact, I'm going to see if I can dig up my shitty experience. Here, let me show you. Hola, ¿cómo está? Sí, sí, cómo no.
Gracias.
Sí, sí, cómo no. See, I got someone bothering me, or not. But see, so it's funny, like I got these guys right behind me now, and I got this thing right here, and he's probably gonna say something. So let's see what he's gonna say. Sí, 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 la tengo aquí. Voy a mercado ahora.
¿En qué mercado vas? El mercado está por allá.
¿En Walmart no está abierto?
No, el mercado está allá de Santana, está en la 47.
Pero el Walmart no está abierto. Sí está abierto.
Sí está abierto, pero hay que tener mucho en cuenta de que solo se le permite entrar y regresarse a su casa.
Bueno, claro, yo acabo de salir de mi casa, señor. Es que yo vi que no había nada y nadie, entonces por eso no me la tenía, porque hace mucho calor. ¿Me entiende, verdad? Muchas gracias. And so, again, you know what I mean? Like, we all have a shitty experience out here. Just like, you know, there's shitty experience with cops in any part of the world. But when you know your rights, and on top of that, you know that your rights are actually going to get upheld here, and that actually you are the one in power and not them, then things are, you know, things just go very, very differently. And sure, things are a little, you know, on edge right now all over the place because of the whole mask thing, and these cops all over the world, I mean, all over Mexico, never really have much power, but now, because, you know, they have the power of, you got to put on your mask, you got to do this, you got to do that, they're trying to, some of them, not all of them, are really, you know, taking advantage of that and taking advantage of their power and taking advantage of whatever. So in a place like Cancun, remember, all parts of the world right now, all parts of Mexico right now, you know, are definitely struggling hard, and especially in the economy. And especially if you're a tourist-based economy, you're really suffering right now. So it's no different to the cops. It's no different to everybody. Everybody in the economy, you know, is part of it. So the cops, you know, are used to, you know, stopping a few dumb tourists here and there and extorting them here and there. Sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they don't. But they had a, you know, a steady flow of individuals, and they didn't always have to, you know, go after them. But now, you know, with the really tough times that we are experiencing, you know, these cops are also starving, and that's probably why they asked for not just that much money, but they were, you know, even more aggressive than they normally would have been, because again, they are starving. And now, you know, now it's a little bit different, you know what I mean, where it's like, we need to get this money out of this gringo. We need to get whatever the fuck we can out of this gringo because I need to eat. And again, that 9,000 pesos is going to be split between 5 people. All right, so, you know, asking for, you know, 2,500 pesos, that means 25 bucks for each guy. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. And especially in Cancun, where things are way more expensive and thing runs on a dollar. So, you know, just FYI, you know what I mean? You gotta keep an eye on all this, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to recognize when you're getting hustled, when you're, you know, being pulled over by a corrupt cop and so on and so forth. Look, let me tell you another story. Another recent story was basically just some poor guy driving his poor car, you know, and they were crossing into Quintana Roo, you know, crossing into the Cancun area. Quintana Roo is a state, Cancun is a city, so they were crossing into the state. And the same thing, you know, it was just some regular dude driving his regular car, you know, not a nice car like that, just a shitty car. And the same thing, you know, they wanted to extort that guy, and you know, that guy was a Mexican. He's like, hell no. And so he fucking, you know, they stopped him at a checkpoint and they were harassing him and trying to extort him and trying to arrest him. And then when they couldn't do anything, they literally planted drugs on him. And he said, you better not even think about fucking arresting me for this shit. How dare you?
How dare you?
Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he was able to get out of that without, only with, you know, getting his heart rate up. But other than that, he was able to walk away. Good luck with that in the US. Good luck with that in other parts of the world, you know, to see how. So, and then look, how do we know? Oh shit. Let me get the fuck out of here. Oops. Oh crap. Oops. I just committed a crime. Oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble. Let me get the fuck out of here. You know what? That could have been a cat or a dog, all right? I'm just a big animal. Oops. So
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Man, that was hilarious. Now I feel bad for that guy, bro. I walk by that guy's house all the time. Fuck, man. Anyways, I'm sure I'm taking it harder than he is. All right, so back to what I was saying, which was, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, so try doing something like that in the US. Okay, but anyways, how did we find out about that guy, the checkpoint? Because he wasn't able to record it because he just, you know, he was under duress and he was under that situation. You know, imagine, you know, some regular working dude, no phone, or the phone isn't working. Well, long story short, he was able to snap a few pictures and it didn't even matter because people just knew what cops were working there and what they did, and all he had to do was report it to the authorities, and bam, that cop was in trouble. That cop was all over social media. That cop was, you know, again, not only fired and gotten rid of, but you know, definitely reprimanded, and you know, definitely you know, again, you know, he got in trouble for extortion, got in trouble for illegal use of power, got whatever the fuck, you know. So just to show you, man, no matter who you are out there, if you exercise your rights, you're good to go. They cannot pull you out of the car. They cannot stop you. They cannot do anything. Now, it's not to say that they're not going to do it, but if they do, and of course, remember, they have guns, they got a little bit more authority, whatever the hell, you know, if they do, just again, just know that, just like in the US, you know, the first thing that they tell you to do is shut the fuck up. Okay, second thing they tell you to do, shut the fuck up. And I can go on and on. And so that's basically it. As long as you know your rights, don't say anything to implicate you in any kind of crime or anything like that. And even if you do, again, it's what the fuck, you know what I mean? They can't do anything, man. They really can't, unless you literally committed a crime and they know that you committed it. They have witnesses, they got testimony, they got proof, they got all this stuff. Man, there's not much they can do. Very little, if anything. Yeah, I mean, seriously. And even if, you know, they have a lot of this stuff, you know, again, there's not much they can really do. I gotta go this way. A little distracted, but yeah, you know what I mean? That's it, guys. You know what I mean? So, you know, I know this video is a little bit all over the place. I think you guys kind of got it. I just really wanted to talk about this because my friend was like, man, can you make a video on this? Can you talk about this? I'm like, yeah, man, for sure. This will be a great topic. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I am not a fan of authority. I am not a fan of government. I am not a fan of cops. I am not a fan of any of these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? I give them the respect that they need, but again, it's up to them whether they earn the respect or not. And out here, so far, the cops have, you know, earned the respect. For the most part out here, the cops have been great. I've never really had a problem with authority. I never really had a problem with anything out here. But I can't say the same for all of you guys, and I can't say the same that, you know, it won't happen in the future. So that's why I'm making this episode, so that, you know, just to put you aware, and then in case you are in a, you know, sticky situation, that you actually have a way out. And that's basically it, that you really have nothing to be scared of, especially if you didn't do anything wrong, you know. So it's all about knowing your rights, knowing the script, and you'll be good to go. So again, let's just kind of go over it real quick just one last time, because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. But again, if you ever get pulled over or stopped or any kind of, you know, situation like that by a police officer in Mexico, just know that as long as you know your rights, and I'm not going to go through all that shit here, you do some homework and you figure it out. But as long as you know your rights and you know what they can and can't do, well, then that's it. You know what I mean? They're not going to shoot you. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to arrest you. They're not going to do anything like that. And again, if they do, it's their ass. So just keep that in mind, you know. But what they can do is intimidate you. They can, again, use fear in order to control you, and they can do many, many other tactics, okay, to get you to do what they want you to do. All right, so just remember that. But remember, they don't have the force and they don't have the ability to do what they do in the US and in other countries around the world at the moment. So, all right, guys, that's it. I got to get out of here. Don't forget, if you like this kind of content, you already know what to do. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys, well, when I get back from Oaxaca. Bye.